Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. We are the O3 group, that is the group 3 of O division of VIT Pune. We are roll number 13 Sagar Patil, roll number 14 Sahil Patil, roll number 15 Sahil Patil, roll number 16 Sania Patil, roll number 17 Shantanu Patil, roll number 18 Shubham Patil. So in this video we will talk about single bus architecture. In a single bus architecture, all components in a computer system are connected to a single shared bus or communication pathway. This bus carries data, address and control signal between the various components such as the CPU, memory and peripheral devices. The main advantage of a single bus architecture is its simplicity and low cost, as all components can communicate directly with each other without the need for complex interfaces or bridges. However, a single bus can become a bottleneck if the system has a large number of components or if the components have high data transfer requirement. In computer architecture, a bus is a communication system that transfers data between components inside a computer or between computers. The bus architecture refers to the design and organization of these communication pathways.
Hello everyone, myself Shubham Patil. I will be continuing with the types of bus architecture. There are two types of bus architecture. First is the external bus. This type of bus connects computer to external devices such as printer, scanner and storage devices. It is also known as I/O bus. Second is the internal bus. This type of bus connects internal component of a computer such as a CPU, memory and motherboard. It is also known as system bus. The internal bus is further divided into three types. First, data bus. This bus carries data between CPU and memory. Second, address bus. This bus carries memory addresses between the CPU and memory. Third, control bus. This bus carries control signals between the CPU and other components. The width of bus measured in bits determine how much data can be transferred at a time. A bus with a wider width can be transfer more data at a time than bus with narrower width. Overall, bus architecture is a critical aspect of a computer organization as it enables communication and data transfer between different components of a computer.
Hello, myself Sahil Patil. I will be explaining the data bus in single bus architecture. The data bus is also known as memory bus or internal bus. It is a communication pathway in computers architecture that transfers data between CPU and memory. This bus is a bidirectional bus, meaning that data can be transferred in both directions, from memory to CPU and from CPU to memory. Also, it is synchronous. That means the data transfer is synchronized with a clock signal. The width of the data bus measured in bits determines how much data can be transferred at a time. A wider data bus can transfer more data at a time than a narrower data bus. The width of the data bus is typically determined by the CPU architecture and the type of memory being used. Thank you.
Hello guys, myself Sagar Patil. I am going to explain about data and address bus. So a typical data bus is composed of three lines. First, data lines. These lines carry the actual data being transferred. Address lines. These lines carry the memory address of the data being transferred. Then control lines. These lines carry signals that control the data transfer process, such as read and write signals. The data bus plays a critical role in the computer's architecture as it enables the computer CPU to access and manipulate data stored in memory. The speed and width of the data bus can have a significant impact on the performance of a computer. Then, in computer architecture, an address is a unique value that identifies a specific location in memory where data is stored. The address bus is a communication pathway that carries these memory addresses between the CPU and memory. The address bus is used by the CPU to specify the location of the data it wants to read from or write to memory. The width of the address bus, measured in bits, determines the maximum amount of memory that can be addressed by the CPU. A wider address bus can address more memory than a narrower address bus. Thank you.
Hello, I am Shantanu Patil and I am going to explain you the address and control bus. The address bus is unidirectional, meaning that the addresses are sent only from the CPU to memory and not the other way around. It is also synchronous, meaning that the address transfer is synchronized with a clock signal. A typical address bus is composed of the address lines, the number of which is determined by the width of the address bus each. Address line carries one bit of the memory address. The total number of address lines determines the maximum amount of memory that can be addressed. The address bus plays a critical role in the computer's architecture as it enables the CPU to access and manipulate specific data stored in memory. The width of the address bus can have a significant impact on the amount of memory that can be addressed and thus on the performance of a computer. In computer architecture, the control bus is a communication pathway that carries control signals between the central processing unit, that is CPU, and other components of the computer. The control bus is used to coordinate and control the flow of data and instructions between the CPU and other components.
Hello guys, myself Sahil Patil and I'll be explaining about control bus. The control bus is composed of several lines, each carrying a specific control signal. This signal includes read or write. This signal tells the memory whether the CPU wants to read data from a specific memory location or write data to it. Memory. This signal tells the memory whether the CPU wants to access memory or an input-output device. Memory enable or disable. This signal tells the memory whether it should respond to the CPU's requests or ignore them. Interrupt. This signal tells the CPU that an event has occurred that requires the CPU's attention. Clock. This signal is used to synchronize the transfer of data and addresses between the CPU and memory. The control bus is bidirectional, meaning that control signals can be sent in both directions, from the CPU to other components and from other components to the CPU. The control bus plays a critical role in the computer's architecture as it enables the CPU to coordinate and control the flow of data and instructions between different components. Without the control bus, the CPU would not be able to communicate with the memory or input-output devices and the computer would not function properly. So guys, this is from our side. Thank you for watching and please like, share and subscribe.